I'm talking to Tony Williams, who is in charge of Emirates
Hotels and Resorts.
and he's a contender for the Tourism for Tomorrow award.
That's right.
My guess is that I'm going to put my cards on the table, and we're doing this before the award is presented. My guess is that he might win a prize. We'll see what happens. But tell me, Tony, I know just how passionate you are about sustainable tourism.
Yes.
How does that get manifest into action as far as Emirates is concerned?
All right. Well, Emirates focuses on two areas which we feel are the critical areas, the critical environmental issues facing us and facing the world at the moment. And those are namely carbon emissions and our attempts to work on getting carbon emissions reduced in our industry. And the second part being the mass extinction of biodiversity on the planet today, which has reached critical levels of over 240 species a week, and that is a mass extinction level of roughly 1,000 times more over the last 50 years than it was in the previous 50 years. So a critical situation for the planet's ecosystems to be in. And we are focused really on those two areas. Needless to say, the greatest impact that we as a company, that Emirates can have on emissions is via our aircraft, via our ground operations, and we focus through all of the areas of our operations to reduce carbon emissions. Dubai has just recently got one of the region's first carbon neutral cargo warehouse. Wolgan Valley in Australia, our resort in Australia's Blue Mountains, is the first hotel in the world which was certified as carbon neutral by a global certification company and third-party scientifically verified. And in our fleet, and our airline fleet, is obviously focused on fuel-efficient engines, very fuel-efficient operations, and Emirates has been innovative in terms of choosing flight paths and working out new innovations in guiding flights through each of their missions between destinations. And obviously we have one of the world's most modern fleets, and the A380, for example, being per seat the most carbon efficient aircraft in the world. So there are a host of areas that we focus on, but in terms of our environmental policy is that Emirates Hotels and Resorts, with our focus on biodiversity and wildlife conservation in particular, that is really the focal point of our environmental PR, if you like.
Yeah, but it's also a major passion, isn't it? I mean, and also we're talking in the biodiversity year. This is about, we just read a story last week on biodiversity year. Correct. And it really is a most important issue. But why should biodiversity mean anything?
Well,
to
biodiversity.
The travel agents?
Well, biodiversity is what supports our ecosystems around the world, and the stability of those ecosystems provides the stability of our societies, the stability of the people who dwell in every single corner of the planet, and their stability must count. And it is only by protecting sensitive environments and protecting the biodiversity within those environments that ultimately, as a tourism industry, we have places to see and wish to see, because they remain beautiful, because they remain special. But so important is the environmental stability for the people who actually live there.
And you're in very sensitive areas, aren't you? I mean,
yes.
Your Emirates Hotels and Resorts
Yes.
are in very sensitive but very beautiful,
areas.
Diverse areas.
Within Dubai, located in some of the most beautiful dune fields in Arabia, just outside Dubai. The Al Maha Desert Resort forms really the center point of the Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve, which is the only wildlife reserve in that region, which is recognized internationally by UNEP and by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and the World Conservation Monitoring Committee. So the work which has been done there is the Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve and Al Maha, with their reintroductions and the work which we've done on environmental protection there. We protect a habitat which supports 2 endangered species and over 6 large mammal species which are locally threatened and have been locally extinct for the last 20 years.
So I just hope your work is going to get rewarded today. We'll see what happens. Thank you very much indeed.
There are fantastic finalists here. I've had the privilege of meeting them yesterday. Some fantastic projects out there, and it's very good that World Travel and Tourism Council creates this podium for these awards, which highlights best practice and sustainability.
It's really a showcase for the sustainable tourism industry, isn't it?
Well, it's a showcase of best practice for the whole industry, because a lot of the innovations which take place in the smaller end or the more innovative parts of the industry, it's only a matter of time before that really starts becoming mainstream.
Best of luck, Tony.
Thank you very much
indeed. Thanks.